Far right politicians in America are authoritarian. Nikki Haley, Donald Trump, Matt Gaetz, Ron DeSantis, they are authoritarian. A good thing about America is that you are allowed to protest America. In China, you cannot protest their government. They will kill you. In Russia, you cannot protest their government. They will kill you. These authoritarian countries have no rights. We do have rights. We have the right to disagree with each other. We have the right to say what we feel should be changed about our own country. Real patriots fight for our country to be better. You aren't a patriot for being a yes man to our country. You're not a patriot if you ignore every part of our country that needs to be fixed. You are a patriot if you advocate for things that can make our country better. So, Nikki Haley is really mad at this athlete for not standing for the flag and for not adoring America on the world stage. How about you say, you know what's so good about America? Americans have the opportunity to protest because from these other countries, they cannot do that. That's a big thing about America we can brag about. But Nikki Haley and all these far right politicians, they are authoritarians. They agree with a lot of these backwards countries on social issues. They are anti-LGBT. They are anti-choice for abortions. All of these things line up perfectly. It is really hilarious when they're all about freedom. They're all about freedom and whatever until it comes to somebody saying, "I'm not going to fall into I'm not going to fall into your dogma on what you think it means to be a patriot." The right in America does not own patriotism. I would argue they are less patriotic. They don't care that America is at the bottom of the barrel among developed countries when it comes to our infrastructure. They don't care that America is ranked 27th in the world for healthcare. They don't care that America is falling into last place because all they care about is showing adoration and showing fireworks and showing all these big symbols. I don't care about symbols. I respect the flag. I respect people who care about the flag because of what people have done to make sure this country it was able to get to where it is today. And I respect people that do care about the flag a lot. But you should also respect people who are protesting because the idea of liberty and justice for all isn't actualized for everybody in this country. In 1776, when our Declaration of Independence was signed, black people were not considered humans. Women were barely considered humans. Only white, rich men, poor people were barely considered humans. Only rich white men were considered humans when that happened. And until we fix liberty and justice for all, for everybody, you can't really complain when people want to protest the American flag, a symbol. Symbols mean different things to different people. For some, the American flag means, this is what my grandfather fought for when he died in whatever war, maybe my father, maybe my brother, maybe my sister, maybe they died fighting for this flag, and this flag was so important to them, and this is why, this flag represents the American story. For others, that flag also represents the American story, but a very different one. So we already know about slavery, we know about Jim Crow, we know about segregation, but even within the military, the American flag, what does it represent for black soldiers during like World War II or during Vietnam? Black soldiers and Jewish soldiers were being discriminated against in America at the same time that Nazi Germany was carrying out the Holocaust. Black and Jewish soldiers served in different units in World War II. And then when they came back from whatever war, whatever combat black and Jewish soldiers fought in, and mostly black people got hurt from this. But whenever they came back, black people didn't have access to the same GI Bill benefits as white soldiers. Black people were blocked out from getting the benefits of being an American soldier. So many black Americans fought for this country, died for this country. And, the ones that survived and came back, those black Americans were still treated as second class citizens and still had to fight for their rights and still did not get any reimbursement for what they did for this country. But we never talk about their stories. We never talk about these military families. We never talk about these men and women who have served of a different race in America because our history, the way we remember history, is so white, Christian, straight, whatever, eccentric. So that's one example of something that we dropped the ball on. We never talk about the history of black soldiers. That is never talked about on Memorial Day, on any, like, it just simply isn't talked about. When we remember MLK in our history, he's been whitewashed as some type of like I don't see color friendly guy who literally walked down the street hand in hand and said, I wish we could all just get along. When in reality, MLK was like a radical socialist who believed in complete social change economically and through social justice. He cared about workers' rights. He cared about unions. He cared about all of this stuff. And we don't remember it. We don't remember we leave out so much of black history in America. Most Americans don't even know that the Civil War was fought over slavery. That is true. It's hard to believe, but that is true. There is so much black history that people simply don't know about. Tulsa, Black Wall Street. Americans simply have no idea, have no view of this. So instead of getting mad when you see somebody kneeling for the national anthem or turning away from the flag, because to you, as a white American that might have family members who served, to you, that flag means, of course, freedom, justice, sacrifice, all that stuff. But remember, to others, it means pain, neglect, and also bloodshed inflicted upon them by their own country. This American flag that represented oppression, that black people were put under in this country as slaves for like 200, 300 years, and then as second class citizens up until today. So just remember that, put that into context, and try to understand everybody's perception. And in America, like I said before, we are allowed to have different views of our country. That is what makes this country great. So don't fall into the trap that Donald Trump wants to set for you, that Nikki Haley wants to set for you, that Ron DeSantis wants to set for you. This trap where they want you, instead of understanding these black athletes who are not standing for the flag, who are not saying or singing the national anthem. Instead of they want you to hate them. They want you to hate these athletes instead of understanding where these athletes are coming from. We need more understanding, less hate. And that's one thing I really despise about Donald Trump. He gets everybody that loves him. He wants you to hate Colin Kaepernick. He wants you to hate BLM. He wants you to hate George Floyd. He wants you to hate everybody that looks different from you, that has a different culture from you. He doesn't want us to come together. All of his rhetoric is focused on hate. Literally, has Donald Trump ever said maybe we should listen to another side? Maybe we should take their experience into account. Maybe we should take their perspective into account. He has never said that. But that's what I want you to start doing, because hate isn't going to be a stable foundation for our country. We need to be able to come together. We need to be able to listen to each other. And that goes both ways. People on the left need to do a better job of understanding where people on the right are coming from. People from cities and rural areas need to stop their freaking big divide. The rural-urban divide. Rural Americans need to understand urban issues more. Urban Americans need to understand rural issues more. All of this stuff can happen if we all it's hard, of course, but if we all stop buying into this game of hate that these right-wing politicians are setting up for us. Like Donald Trump he's been a politician for 5-6 years. Donald Trump still to this day has yet to propose a healthcare plan. Donald Trump was president for a whole last term for 4 years. He did not propose a healthcare plan. The Republican platform for 2020 literally had 0 policies on it. Their only policy was to worship Donald Trump. Literally. They are not here to fix Americans' problems. And I mean Republican politicians. Republican voters are not the same. Regular people are not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Republican politicians who are manipulating Americans into fighting each other because they want us to fight each other. Because if we're fighting each other, they never have to solve the actual problems that we are facing. Basically. All right, that's all for today. If you're watching this on Jola, please go subscribe to Break the Cycle. Break the Cycle here is going to be more general prepared news commentary content and whatever. So please help me grow this channel. Drop a like, a comment. If you're watching on Facebook, please drop a like, comment, and share the video and all that stuff. Thank you for watching. If you really like me, you can drop $1 a month or more in Patreon down below. Yeah, cool.